A night of horror. A gunman opens fire in a packed Orlando nightclub, killing 50 people and wounding dozens more. And as the sun rose, anguished families wait for answers, praying for their loved ones. We have extensive coverage tonight of the nightclub shooting in Orlando. This is Fox 5 News at 10. Good evening to you. I'm Deidre Dukes.
And I'm Russ Spencer. Tonight, at least 50 people are dead. 53 others are being treated for their wounds, some of them reportedly life-threatening. It was the deadliest shooting in U.S. history and the worst terror attack here since 9/11. It's early this morning, 2 a.m. The Pulse, a gay nightclub, is packed. An armed man approaches carrying several weapons, including an assault rifle. Outside, he exchanges gunfire with a uniformed police officer. And then inside the club, he opens fire.
The gunshots, it sounded like it was part of the mix for the DJ, and just after a couple of days, people just started to run and scream.
Some managed to escape.
I ran. I just was trying to get out of there as soon as possible. I just didn't look back, just ran to get out of there. That was my first instinct, to just get somewhere safe. Police from several agencies, including a SWAT team, respond. Terrified survivors are trapped inside for hours. And the standoff ends when the suspect, 29-year-old Omar Mateen, is killed by police.
My shirt's soaked between sweat and blood. All this is it's devastating.
Now, here's what we know so far about that suspect, 29-year-old Omar Mateen. The FBI says he was an American citizen born in New York. He later moved to Florida, where he worked as a security guard in West Palm Beach. The FBI also says he purchased 2 firearms legally within the last week. Now, his ex-wife told the Washington Post that his family was originally from Afghanistan and that he regularly beat her when they were married.
So the big question tonight, why? The FBI says it's investigating the shooting as an act of terror, but right now there appear to be no clear answers.
He was a cool, calm, collected, never really was an aggressive, mean, crazy person.
People who knew Omar Mateen expressed surprise today over his actions.
He used to hang out and stuff, and he would never really, like I said, never shoot anybody or kill anybody. That's crazy.
But there are indications Mateen did have a darker side.
I asked the FBI if there was any connection to Islamic radicalism. There appears to be, but they are naturally cautious and waiting throughout to see if the facts emerge.
This afternoon, investigators were searching the home of the gunman's father. Sadiq Mateen said his son got angry when he saw 2 men kissing in Miami a few months ago. The FBI says it investigated Mateen twice. First in 2013, after he reportedly made inflammatory comments to co-workers, and again in 2014, after authorities discovered he had ties to an American suicide bomber. Ultimately, they determined he did not pose a threat at the time.
Those interviews turned out to be inconclusive, so there was nothing to keep the investigation going forward.
Now, Mateen's ex-wife told the Washington Post her husband was not religious.
And local and national Muslim leaders clearly and forcefully denounced the attack.
One of the officers, as we heard, was injured, and that's a risk they take every day to protect us. No one could have predicted this. No one could have prepared for it. This could have happened anywhere. It's like a lightning.
This is a hate crime. Plain and simple. We condemn it in the strongest possible terms. It violates our principles as Americans and as Muslims.
There has been an enormous outpouring of grief and disbelief in Orlando and across the nation.
And people everywhere with no connection to the victims are trying to help.
It's very sad and it's heartbreaking, and this is something the community is going to deal with for a very, very long time, unfortunately.
As they awoke to news of the tragedy, residents of the Orlando area responded.
We saw it and we came out here, and it's great to see this outpouring in the community. Everybody volunteering out here. It's really heartwarming in the wake of this incident.
Hundreds rushed to local blood donation centers.
I have my 5-year-old daughter here, but I have to bring her to show that we have to stay together as a sense of community and to make sure that she sees how important that we all contribute and donate today, how important it is.
It's amazing all the other people that can or won't wait in line are showing up with food and drinks, and it's just, it's horrible that a tragedy like this happens, but it's heartwarming to see all the support of the community.
Yes, but the horror is too much for most people to comprehend.
I was just shocked that it could happen here in Orlando. I mean, you hear about these kind of tragedies, but it hits you different when it's actually in your backyard. So
Pulse is a place where people can go, meet their friends, be themselves, have fun, enjoy a night out, and just be themselves and have a good time. This is unfathomable that something like this could actually happen.
We will have more from Orlando coming up in a live report in just a few minutes. But Atlanta area residents are also doing their part.
Yes, they are. Representative of the Live South Community Blood Centers say Orlando area blood centers asked for help, and donors moved by the tragedy, well, they answered the call.
I came because I was feeling sad and sort of helpless about the whole situation, and I thought I'd come and do what I could to help. I've been wanting to give blood for a while now, and what better reason?
Well, hundreds of people have gathered in Midtown Atlanta to remember the victims in Orlando.
And Fox 5's Claire Sims is live in Midtown, where people stand in solidarity with the LGBT community. Claire?
Yeah, Ross, we're live right in the middle of 10th Street. You can see there are people absolutely everywhere. The Atlanta Police Department has shut down the street because of just how many people showed up for tonight's vigil. That vigil actually ended about an hour or so ago, but these people show no signs of wanting to leave. With candles in hand and rainbow flags flying, hundreds of people meet in Midtown to show their support for those impacted by the nightclub shooting in Orlando.
What happened last night affects all of our safety. It shows us that places that we go to have fun and to live and to laugh are places that we can still be killed, and we have a long way to go.
This vigil outside 10, a restaurant located on the corner of 10th and Piedmont, largely known as the center of Atlanta's lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. A community that, in gathering, wants to show that violence will not bring them down, but will instead bring them together, stronger than before.
We deserve equal rights. We are equal citizens, and there's no need for terrorist acts just because we're a little different.
Despite their resolve, the pain is still present, and the healing will not come easy.
Of course, this is not the first time that violence has happened in a nightclub or a bar or a bookstore, but to know that the largest mass shooting in U.S. history happened last night in a place that my friends go to just be together is devastating. And I don't know that me or my friends for a while will be able to step foot in what used to be a safe haven without thinking of the danger that could happen.
Fox 5's Claire Sims reporting from Midtown tonight. Now, families seeking information about loved ones who might have been victims of the shooting can call two numbers, 407-246-4357, again, 407-246-4357, or 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-225-5325.
A moment of silence for the victims of Orlando as many attended the Gay Pride Parade in Southern California today. Members of the gay community in West Hollywood gathered to remember the victims of the nightclub shootings. The shooter shot and killed by police after a 3-hour hostage standoff. Now, hours later in Santa Monica, an Indiana man was arrested after several weapons, including assault rifles and explosives, were found in his car. He told authorities that he was going to the Gay Pride Parade. Well, our coverage of this tragedy will continue. We'll go live to Orlando in just a few minutes.
And you can count on Fox 5 for the latest developments in this story around the clock, on the air and on our website, fox5atlanta.com.